This is an event unlike any other in the country that features two HBCUs, one the only HBCU system in the country in Southern University, but then Grambling State University with such a proud tradition and great history from North Louisiana. But to be back in person this year in New Orleans for this game, which is so much more than a game, is really important, and I think it's a sign of hope. But I will tell you, in terms of higher education, we have really turned the corner several years ago after we stabilized higher ed funding, making it a priority again. And then in the current fiscal year, the funding for higher education is the best in probably a generation. And I look forward to continuing that. I'll work with the legislature to make sure next year's budget is the same. And that certainly includes our HBCUs. You know, they're extremely important. And I'm excited about the opportunity to continue to work with them to improve their campuses, but also to improve their academics. And you can only do that through strategic investments.
Today is the annual jazz brunch put on by the Legislative Black Caucus. We give out thousands of dollars in scholarships to Southern and Grambling students, first generation students, those aging out of foster care. So this is one of our most exciting events as we can really give back to the people of our community.
How important are those scholarships and what kind of results have you seen over the years?
Look, we have seen, because we track the students once we give them scholarships, we know that way too often what they may have in other scholarships and that financial obligation, we are filling the gap for a lot of students. So our students always come back and talk about the opportunities that we've created. So this is just, it's awesome for us to continue to be able to do this.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is so great to see everyone this morning. The last time we gathered in person was 2019, and so much has changed since we last gathered. But to see everyone in this room today alive to tell it that you're still here, we're so thankful, and it's so good to see you. The theme of this year's brunch is LLBC, driving social change with education, scholarship, community, and legislation. Our honorees and students reflect the commitment the Black Caucus has to ensure opportunity for all in spite of their situation in life.
I would like to deviate a little bit from the script as well. Thank you to my brother, Jason Hughes, and to all of our colleagues, because we really are a family from the first day. When you say, my brother, my sister, I have you, I thank you all for being that for me and for us. I heard Rep. Jefferson say, we thank God for the for the Grambling State University. You didn't really hear him, but he said for the Southern University as well. These events would not take place or be possible without the support of you, our corporate sponsors. A list of corporate partners is listed on the back of your program and on the sponsor boards at the front of the door.
I'm excited to be back at the Bayou Classic in person this year. I am very thankful. I know that Thanksgiving was 2 days ago, but I remain very thankful because we are doing so much better in terms of COVID, with the lowest number of people hospitalized since the pandemic began, a very low positivity rate of our tests, case transmission rates. But the simple fact of the matter is we're too low on the number of people who've been vaccinated. We're too low on the number of people who've been vaccinated and then boosted. And as you probably are watching, there's a variant of concern right now. So I'm encouraging everybody to do what you can for yourself and your family, and that protects your community as well. Look, I appreciate the leadership that the Black Caucus provides every single year, and I know the theme this year is driving social change with education, scholarship, community, and legislation. But that's the theme this year, but that's the business of the Black Caucus every single year. And I have been watching them in action since I went to the legislature for the first time in 2008. And so I just want to say to the Louisiana Legislative Black Caucus, under the leadership of Ted James and Barbara Carpenter, and of course we have Jason and Tammy up here with me today, but there's so many more around the room. I just want to say thank you for the work that you do every single day. Each of you individually have been a tremendous partner to me, and as an organization, as a group, you have been invaluable in our efforts to move Louisiana forward with a focus on education, and particularly in higher education, where this year, Ray Belton and Rick Gallo and all of their students are enjoying the best funding for higher education in a generation. And I thank them for their leadership. Obviously, you can tell the program's a little different. They're going to try to move the brunch a little faster, and I've already exceeded the time limitation that they gave me. But I did want to point out just a couple of things. It took Donna and me about 45 minutes this morning to pick out this suit and this tie, because I didn't want anything with gold or red or black or blue. That was hard. I mean, that's 95% of what I have to wear. And then, you know, I have an assistant, Alicia, who is from Grambling. And she always makes sure that I'm straight. So she had a pin for me to wear from each university. The Southern pin was about that big. The Grambling pin was about this big. So I had to go find some other ones to put on this morning. So I am straight, but it wasn't with her help. Look, God bless you. Enjoy the game. Please be safe out there. Let's have a really, really good time today. Let's celebrate, and let's make sure that we can continue to drive Louisiana forward. Thank you all, and God bless.
Thank y'all for having me. Thank y'all for putting this on like you do every year. It's an honor for me to be here, and I can tell you one thing that I see our country's in great despair of is people coming together and working together. And everywhere I go and I speak about our legislature and the things that we do, the one thing that I always tell them is how proud I am of our legislature. Without the Black Caucus being there, without the Democrats and the Republicans being there, we wouldn't be who we are. But I can tell you, when it comes time to make decisions and times to move people forward, everybody comes to the table. Everybody speaks on behalf of what we want to move forward. And I am proud of that, to be able to say that I am the leader of the House, to be able to bring people together and unite them. And I want to keep doing that. So thank you all for having me here. Thank you for letting me come up and say a few words. God bless you. Thank you.
We've now got about 1,500 people have gone through our workforce programs. We'd like to have that be 1,500 a year. And this is all part of, continuing to have folks, have an opportunity to grow and develop their careers. It was part of advancing our minimum wage to $12 an hour in the state. And so we continue to expand those workforce programs, and they're part of our whole community initiative for the state. And we've also built a partnership with Xavier University to create the Ochsner Xavier Institute for Health Equity. And the goal of this joint venture with Xavier is really to focus on looking at programs, looking at strategies to improve the health of the communities that we serve. And doing that there we go. Thanks. And doing that, really to continue to look at equity and equality in healthcare across the entire state and look for ways that we can do that in a better fashion. We've got many of our diversity and inclusion executives that are here. It's been a big focus for us over the past couple of years, and it will continue to be a big focus for us in the future. And we really want to be a role model across the state in our D&I efforts.
Thank you all for being here. Congratulations to these two outstanding academic centers of excellence. Southern University and Grambling University are incredible beacons of light in the state of Louisiana, where great leaders have been formed, where great statesmen have been made. These institutions represent the best and the brightest of Louisiana, and the tentacles that leave Louisiana and go all throughout the world, spreading the good word about what happens at our historically colleges, black universities, HBCUs, recognizing the importance of academic excellence. Give a big round of applause to the presidents of these incredible institutions. I apologize for being late, and I know some has already happened, but I want to recognize our governor, who's been an incredible supporter and friend of Southern and Grambling. We've been very fortunate to have a great governor that really does get it. Give a big round of applause to our friend, my friend, Governor John Bell Edwards. To this incredible Legislative Black Caucus that I'm so proud to be a part of, because once you're a member of the Legislative Black Caucus, you're always a member of the Legislative Black Caucus. From its founders, those who had the wisdom, some of which are here today, who had the wisdom to create an organization to stand up for people of color in the state of Louisiana. Started with one, grew into more, grew into what we currently have today as a strong number of both House and Senate members who fight day in, day out to make sure that we're at the table, to make sure that the pie is divided equally, that we have adequate representation in every table, at every discussion, at every division of the financial pie, be it academics, be it healthcare, housing, all of which are critically important. And I'll segue into the work that we're doing in Washington now. As you know, a couple of weeks ago, we passed one of the largest infrastructure packages in the history of our country. $1.2 trillion. 1.2 trillion, I said T, not B. $1.2 trillion, which will go a long way to fix our crumbling infrastructure, which will create transit that will give us the opportunity to further explore and provide rapid rail, passenger rail from New Orleans to Baton Rouge, clean water, removing lead pipes that have been a detriment both physically and mentally for our communities, federal contracting, giving opportunities for minority-owned, women-owned, and disadvantaged businesses to get a piece of the pie. Small business development and creating opportunities that will last forever. This life-changing legislation is indeed, in the president, vice president at the time's word, a big deal. Fill in the blank. A really big deal, because it speaks to needs that have been around for a very long time. This is the 117th Congress, and there's been 117 Congresses before it that tried to pass such a measure. When Republicans had control of the House and Senate and the White House, they couldn't get it done. Joe Biden, President Biden and his administration got it done in the first year. And in case you haven't noticed, this White House recognizes Louisiana. In case you haven't noticed, this White House recognizes Louisiana. My dear friend, your dear friend, the former Congressman Cedric Richmond, who is now senior advisor to the President of the United States. Can I say that again? Our dear friend, our former Congressman Cedric Richmond is senior advisor to the President of the United States. That means when he's sitting down and talking about issues and talking about concerns, Louisiana is always at the table. The governor had an opportunity to come up, and we visited with several members of the cabinet, several members of Congress. And I got to tell you, everyone was incredibly impressed, not only with the fact that the governor was there, but that he had such a rapid command of the issues, rapid command of the needs. And we met with them, and to a point, every single one afterwards stopped me on the floor and said, "You guys got a good team. You got a good team, and it works, and it matters." And we talk about this infrastructure plan. It is the largest infrastructure infusion of cash and resources into America since the creation of the interstate system by President Eisenhower. Let that sink in a minute. The largest infusion of capital dollars since the creation of the interstate system, done in the first year. So don't let people fool you when they say, what are the Democrats doing? We're working hard and making a difference for you. Now we're sent over to the Senate the Build Back Better Act, which will really give us an opportunity to do more life-changing things. And don't get caught up on the argument of it was 3.2 and now it's 1.9. Remember, we're talking T's, not B's. $1.9 trillion, which will give us the opportunity to have universal pre-K. The largest investment in early childhood education that we've ever had. The child income tax credit, which puts money in people's pockets every single month. Life-changing opportunities. $555 billion to deal with climate change. To deal with making sure that people who live in areas that are highly and heavily populated with petrochemical companies have the opportunity to coexist. Not to shut one down and close the other, not to hurt business or to hurt people, but to put people first and to make sure that communities are safe, that people should not have to die for their jobs, that industry and people coexist and one doesn't have to take from the other. We have to make sure that people live within the guidelines of the rules of not polluting our communities, protecting our earth, protecting our communities while still keeping jobs and industry vibrant. We can and we will do this. We've got a lot of work ahead. I'd ask you all, reach out. Talk to our members of Senate. We sent them a really good bill, a good bill that's life-changing. And as I said this morning on an interview, the people that will benefit from the Build Back Better, the people that will benefit from infrastructure, they're Democrat, they're Republican, they're independent, they're other. They're from every stretch of our state and every stretch of our country. The people that will benefit, some voted for me and some didn't. Some voted for President Joe Biden and some didn't. If there's anything that should be considered nonpartisan, infrastructure bill and this Build Back Better package, because it's good for America. God bless you all. Thank you so very much. Happy to be here. Go Bayou Classic.
Congressman, thank you for that keynote, but I want you to stay closer. You know, every year, not every year, but when we have a member of the Louisiana Legislative Black Caucus that either terms out or runs for a different office, we always try to honor that member's service by presenting the Eagle Award. And while we have the congressman here, I wanted to jump up and present you, Congressman Carter, this Eagle Award for your time of service. He did 2 bids in the legislature. So thank you for the work that you did for us here in Louisiana as a member of the legislature, and we're even more grateful of your service in Congress. Having a seat at the table is very important, and in a very short time you have shown the type of leadership that we already knew that you possessed. So thank you for your service and congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It is my indeed pleasure to recognize someone who has meant so much to so many. A man that cut down a lot of cane, cleared a lot of path, made way for a lot of people. A man that I will say without fear of contradiction provided opportunity for me to be standing here today. I say it when he's around, I say it when he's not. This man took a chance on a young Xavier student and gave him an opportunity to be a part of his administration. And I'm grateful for the opportunity, for the learning, for the training, for the tutelage that he provided me. And we can all learn from that we have a responsibility to reach back, to invest in our youth and give them an opportunity as he did with me. It is my pleasure and honor to present the award to a dedicated public servant, accomplished leader, and someone I look up to. Ladies and gentlemen, I speak of none other than the Honorable Sidney John Bartholomew. He was elected as the first black senator since Reconstruction, paving the way for so many of us. He was a founding member of the Louisiana Legislative Black Caucus and also served as its chair. He was elected to the New Orleans City Council at large position, breaking barriers as the first African American to hold this office. Then he became Mayor Sidney John Bartholomew and served as the second African American to be mayor of New Orleans. Without fear of contradiction, I can say my trajectory would be far different had it not been for the chance that this mayor took on this young staffer. Congratulations on this recognition, and thank you for all the hard work that you've done, all the incredible guidance that you've given, the leadership that you provided during very difficult times. In 1986, finding a horrific deficit, but turning it around, averting shutting down City Hall, creating opportunities, creating jobs, and creating ways for African Americans to participate in the economic mainstream. Sidney Bartholomew is, in fact, a living legend. We owe you a debt of gratitude, sir. God bless you. Join me in recognizing this incredible living legend. This plaque reads, Louisiana Legislative Black Caucus, Sidney J. Bartholomew, founding member of the Louisiana Legislative Black Caucus, 1974 to 78, in recognition of your dedicated service to all of the citizens of Louisiana. God bless you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Jeff.
Let's move over here. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, Sidney J. Bartholomew.
Thank you very much, Congressman. It's really a pleasure and an honor for me to be here today because I was one of the founding members of the Louisiana Legislative Black Caucus. And I remember the Legislative Black Caucus luncheon was held in a small room when we first started out. And today, it's an incredible turnout in such a large room. And so, Mr. Chairman, Mr. James, and Congressman Carter, you all deserve a great deal of credit for what you did. And I want to piggyback a little bit on what Troy Carter said. We have to work hard to let the people of this state and this country know what President Biden and the legislators and the congressmen did. And really, they did it at a time when it's extremely difficult to do. In a country that is divided, still divided, after what the past administration didn't do, yet they're still a threat to this country and the freedoms that we all enjoy and the hope for our children and our grandchildren. If we don't get out and fight to make sure that this country survives under the worst threat it has seen in this country for 200 years, then it's going to be shame on us. I beg you, please take this seriously, because there is a tremendous threat to our country, and all of us have to stand up and get involved. Thank you very much, Congressman Carter, for all the wonderful things you said about me. And Representative Ted James, I really appreciate it, and all the members of the Louisiana Legislative Caucus. Thank you.
Thank you, my brother and Mr. Representative, Representative Phelps. Good morning, almost afternoon. I'm glad that they made the admonishment. We're going to get out of here in less than 2 hours, so I'll do my part. It certainly continues to be an honor to stand before you representing the place where everybody is somebody, Grambling State University. And whether you were founded in 1901 as Grambling was or 1880 as Southern University was, our mission remains the same. And that is to provide access to quality education for a better way of life for all of our people. And I think both universities have been incredibly successful doing so much with so little for so long. It's a good place to clap. You know, I remember when Governor Edwards was running, one of the things he said that has certainly stuck with me, that if we think we can continue to do more with less, at some point we'll be able to do everything with nothing. Hope I got that right, Governor. Close. Well, I tell you, we have done so much with so little for so long. So we've done more with less. But as I hear our congressman talk about the Build Back Better and the $1.9 trillion, we're ready to do more with more. And so I can assure you that Dr. Belton and I will be at the front of the line to make sure, and with the new chairman, Chairman Shorter, we will be at the front of the line advocating for these students that we have been honored to serve, to make sure that they've got the best facilities, they've got the best academic resources available so that they can continue to reach higher heights. At Grambling, we have been able to open what is the state's first and only bachelor's degree in cybersecurity, the state's first and only bachelor's degree in cloud computing. And I think we've got some Amazon people here somewhere. So when you think about the quality jobs that are available today in cloud and in cyber, and what we're doing at Grambling to be able to provide practical exposure to our students. Our team won the BizTech Challenge yesterday. There is another thing that goes on. Yeah, BizTech Challenge for 4 of the 5 years that this competition has been going on. And so I think it gives, Bayou Classic gives our students not only an opportunity to compete on a football field or on the Battle of the Bands and the Greek show, it also provides our students the opportunity to perform academically and to show their entrepreneurial skills and all the things that are amazingly great about our students. Let me say that it has been over the last 5 years an incredible honor to serve with my friend, with my brother, Dr. Ray Belton, who has announced his retirement. And you know, just the continuity and the togetherness that both institutions have been able to achieve over this last 5 years. I'm incredibly honored to have been able to serve alongside someone who is widely recognized as a leader among leaders. And so as he plans to return back to North Louisiana, and I don't know if I'll be able to convince him to come down I-20 to hang out with me a little bit, but certainly want to thank Dr. Belton for not only his friendship, his leadership, but also all that he has meant to all the students that have come through Southern University. Please give Dr. Belton a round of applause, please. And as I prepare to take my seat, Representative Hughes, I see you easing closer to me to get me off the stage. Let me just say how much I appreciate Dr. Henderson and the University of Louisiana system. Where's Dr. Henderson? He was here. Oh, he's back here. Okay. Dr. Jim Henderson, who is the president and CEO of the University of Louisiana system, for his transformative leadership to really galvanize and to leverage the collective strength of over 90,000 students within the University of Louisiana system. And as much as we think about the flagship and, you know, it's always about LSU, I think Dr. Henderson has been able to show the vision and the strength of 90,000 students within our system. And Dr. Henderson, thank you so much for your incredible leadership and for bringing the Reginald F. Lewis Scholars, which is a black male initiative that was started by Dr. Henderson for the University of Louisiana system. If our scholars could stand very quickly, because my time is running out. There's so much more I want to say. I just know I don't have all the time. But I would be remiss if I did not recognize Dr. Marcus Jones, who's another good Kappa man, the first African-American president of Northwestern State University. So again, thank you so much to my former colleagues for giving us the opportunity to be a part of this program. Once again, thank you for everybody who purchased tickets this year to go to the game. I had to say it. Because all the resources that we're able to raise during this weekend for Bayou Classic helps us to bring resources back to our respective campuses. And so I thank you for your support, for your prayers. God bless you. Go Grambling, go Tigers. And again, the Louisiana Legislative Black Caucus hereby extends its heartiest congratulations to Taylor Glass as a 2021 Legislative Black Caucus Video Essay Scholarship recipient. Taylor is also one of our incredibly amazing and talented students, and we're so proud of the work that she's done at Grambling State University. So the Louisiana Legislative Black Caucus hereby extends its heartiest congratulations to Jordan Braithwaite as a 2021 Legislative Black Caucus Video Essay Scholarship recipient. And I can tell you, she is an incredibly amazing 4.0 student at Grambling State University, and we're so proud of her work. Jordan.
Good morning, and allow me indeed to bring greetings on behalf of the entirety of the Southern University system. I am so very pleased to join my colleague, my friend, my brother, an exceptional leader, President Rick Gallo, as we celebrate the 48th installment of the Bayou Classic. You know, as Rick made mention, and Jason just alluded, throughout the week I have, excuse me, throughout the week, I have been sharing with people my delight in transitioning to a new chapter in my life. And they have always cited the fact that, in some ways, in a morbid fashion, that this is your last Bayou Classic. And I say, well, I hope not. I might not come back to this role, but I do plan on coming back to the Bayou Classic. There is nothing like the Bayou Classic. You know, over the years, I've had the great benefit of working with a cadre of individuals who unselfishly serve the interests of Southern University. And I have the pleasure this morning of acknowledging them for their service to our institution. And I speak of none other than our Board of Supervisors who on yesterday recognized board member Edwin Shorty as the new chair-elect. I would ask if they please stand, and if you would be so kind as to recognize members of our Board of Supervisors. It has been a great year for higher education in the state, and certainly the likes of Grambling University and Southern University. It was, the governor mentioned earlier, you know, that this last year we received unprecedented resources to fund our institutions. I shared with the governor I guess a few months ago, my first impression of him as he prepared to run for governor in his first term. And he came before the Board of Supervisors and offered us some encouraging words. And as I do with my students, I always say, look, you need to define individuals who's speaking of you. Do some research and get some context of who's speaking before you. And in so doing, I came to realize that he, in fact, was a U.S. Ranger who, of course, literally fought for our country. And it resonated with me that he would literally fight, as he have, for the state of Louisiana, and certainly for the higher education community. I love this guy. He's an education governor. Let's give the governor another round of applause. And I could clearly say that we, as institutions of higher education, and particularly the Southern University system in this light, would not be where we are, without the benefit of the Louisiana Legislative Black Caucus. I know of the sacrifices that you have made on behalf of us to advocate for us, even taking monies out of your district to support this system and its campuses. And I want to say to you how grateful we are, to your advocacy. It is as a result of that I'm really pleased to say that all of the campuses within the Southern University system now are financially stable and in fact, that they have all received their decennial affirmation for reaccreditation from Southern Association of Colleges and Schools. And that would not have happened without you. And so in the context of being brief, I will sit down, but I do feel like I owe it to a cadre of really talented individuals who bring a lot of commitment and dedication to Southern University. And I certainly would like to recognize all of our faculty, staff, and most importantly, our students throughout our university system for what they do in really advancing our interests and really defining and shaping the HBCU experience right here in the state of Louisiana. So thank you again. Thank you very much for your acknowledgement. Yes, we always say that, we simply have the benefit of defining students who ultimately define Southern University. And certainly, Demilar, Eddingen, I got you, is one of those students. And so it is with delight that the Louisiana Black Caucus hereby extends a heartfelt congratulations as a 2021 Legislative Black Caucus Video Essay Scholarship recipient on this special day. Thank you so very much. And I too would like to recognize Jada for her exceptional work and indeed acknowledge you as a recipient of the Black Caucus Video Essay Scholarship recipient. Thank you, Jada, for representing Southern University so well.
If you do not know the history of how the Bayou Classic began, there was a play written by Judy Mason, who was a Shreveporter from, of course, from North Louisiana, but and a writer for Good Times. But she actually wrote a screenplay of the beginning of how the Bayou Classic started. So I would challenge you to see how that began in a small room. Education continues to be a great equalizer. In recognition of this fact, we are recognizing students who are the first in their families to attend college. This year's awardees are Ms. Tiffany J. Pounds, a Southern University student, and Mr. Joseph M. Richer, a Grambling State Tiger. In conjunction with the Louisiana Capital Chapter of the Links Incorporated, the caucus recognizes our students who did not allow their station in life to stop them. Would President-Chancellor O'Rourke Allen and Marvis Henderson Lewis come forward? The next awardees are two phenomenal young ladies who are matriculating at Southern University and have aged out of foster care. They are Ms. Amerio Compton and Ms. Ralisa Smith.
The Louisiana Legislative Black Caucus over the years has had members who are trailblazers and stalwarts in their advocacy for the people of our state. In recognition of these individuals, we have 3 awards named in honor of former members. The Avery C. Alexander Civil Rights Award is presented to Mr. Joseph A. Delpit. Mr. Delpit was the first black councilman to serve the city of Baton Rouge and served briefly as Mayor Pro Tem. He has served on the Greater Baton Rouge Port Commission as a state representative for House District 67 and was elected as the first black Speaker Pro Tem of the Louisiana House of Representatives. He was also a founding member of the LLBC. Mr. Delpit is a charter and life member of the McKinley High School Alumni Association. He is the recipient of numerous awards and recognitions. Mr. Delpit was nominated by State Senator and former LLBC Chairman Cleo Fields. Accepting this award on behalf of Mr. Joe Delpit is Mr. Henry Baptiste.
I was asked to accept this award on behalf of my business partner, Joe Delpit, who I've been in business with since I was 18 years old. We opened up the Chicken Shack in Baton Rouge, his father in New Orleans in 1935, moved to Baton Rouge in 1940, and he and I have been business partners since then. Joe has had a mild setback. I'm going to say mild because some people will say he's had a stroke, but regardless of how bad he's doing, whenever I stop by to see him, his mind is real sharp. First thing he'll ask you, how was the sales today? Then after you tell him that, he'll go back and start looking at TV. But on behalf of his family, we certainly want to thank you all for recognizing Joe Delpit for this award. And it comes from a gentleman who I knew some time ago before he died, Reverend Alexandria. I remember Reverend Alexandria used to take the bus from New Orleans and ride every day to the legislature to take care of business. So it comes from a good guy, and we want to thank you all for this award. Thank you very much.
Judge Marcus L. Hunter is this year's recipient of the Pinkie C. Wilkerson Humanitarian Award. He is a former member of the Louisiana House of Representatives and is currently a member of the Louisiana Second Circuit Court of Appeal in Shreveport. While a member of the House, he was an avid defender of the underrepresented through his pro bono work. Judge Hunter was instrumental in legislation that provided clean and uncontaminated water for the residents of the town of St. Joseph, a huge accomplishment. Judge Hunter was nominated by his law school classmate and fellow legislator, and my big sister, former LLBC chairwoman, the Honorable Senator Katrina Jackson, who will present this award. Ladies and gentlemen, Judge Marcus Hunter.
Oh, yeah. Good afternoon. Yeah, I'm here. I'm here standing on other people's shoulders. I look around this room and I see a bunch of people that paved the way for me, a lot of friends' faces. I love y'all. Ain't nothing you can do about it. We got some mountains we got to go up to, so y'all get on y'all way.
Thank you, Judge. Finally, Senator Ed Price and Representative Ken Brass nominated Mr. Jesse J. Bartley for the Charles I. Doc Hudson Visionary Award. Mr. Bartley is an education stalwart in Ascension Parish. He was the first African American to serve as director of elementary schools for Ascension Parish Public Schools. Mr. Bartley was appointed by Governor Edwin Edwards to the Pontchartrain Levee District, ultimately serving as board vice president. The Ascension Parish Sheriff's Office was his second career, overseeing the civil division. Mr. Bartley was instrumental in the creation of House District 58, the first majority-minority legislative district in the river parishes. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the recipient of the Charles Doc Hudson Visionary Award, Mr. Jesse J. Bartley, and presenting this award is State Senator Ed Price and State Representative Ken Brass, who will be accepting on behalf of Mr. Bartley today.
Thank you very much, and I'm indeed proud to accept this award on behalf of Mr. Jesse J. Bartley. He is a little bit under the weather and couldn't be here today, but certainly as a man in the River Parish who did so much to make sure that minorities in our area were well represented. So I remember when they developed this organization called RAIL. It was the River Area Improvement League, and he was a big part of that. So thank you very much, and I accept this award on behalf of Mr. Jesse J. Bartley. Thank you.
Representative Ed C. Ted James II currently serves as the chairman of the Louisiana Legislative Black Caucus. He is an attorney who is a change agent and a committed public servant. He is the leader of our caucus who leads us. Sometimes we don't know where we may end up, but we follow. He is one who reminds us that sometimes it seems like a defeat, but it's actually a win for the people that we serve. It is my honor to present to you our fearless leader, Chairman Ted James.
Thank you, Tammy, and thank you, Jason. I want, before, there's one order of business. We did, we gave out one Eagle Award, but there's another former member who I hated to see him leave us. He spent such a short time in the caucus, but we knew from day one that Representative Fred Jones was going to be Judge Frederick Douglass Jones at some point. So Fred, where's Fred? I thought, did he leave? Where's Fred? Fred, come on up, Fred. So this Eagle Award is presented to Frederick Douglass Jones, who I met in the fall of 1999 when we entered Southern University. Fred, your time was well spent, and I know that you're enjoying the bench, so we appreciate your service, brother.
And while they're doing that, he sat in front of me, and you talk about mild and low-key. Those of you who know him know how humble he is. When he says, I'm getting too much, you know, I'm saying words I shouldn't normally say, he kind of gets me back to ground level.
To Chairman James, to Chairwoman Smith and the foundation, and all to my fellow colleagues at the caucus, thank you for this award. I wanted to let you know that I love you. I hope my time spent at the legislature, y'all knew that I was trying to advance the causes of the caucus, and hopefully whenever I present it in front of you in committees, that I did so that was pleasing to the caucus. Whenever you
presented in front of me, hopefully I treated you with dignity and respect that a colleague should receive. And again, once I thank you for this award. Y'all remember North Louisiana? Yes. Chairwoman, Senator Jackson, Patmore, y'all bring home the bacon. Thank y'all.
Thank you. I would ask to all of the members of the Louisiana Legislative Black Caucus join us on the stage. Every member, including you, birthday girls, Representative Marcel's birthday. So members, head up to the stage, please. Tammy told you, sometimes y'all don't know what I have in store, so come on up. Ladies and gentlemen, I will tell you that when Judge Hunter stood up here and talked about the folks whose shoulders he stands on, and I'm always reminded when I speak about this caucus, every single member of this caucus, we recognize that we enjoy the shade of a tree that we did not plant. And it is our duty every single day to protect that tree and to protect the shade that that tree provides. So when I look at the names of our former members who we've named awards after, many of the former members that are in this building, I will tell you that the governor was exactly right in the type of leadership that this caucus provides. This caucus is the heart, the soul, the backbone, every single vital organ of the legislature. This body is it. And I say that unapologetically. And many of you, if you pay attention to the process, you already know that. It is an honor to serve with these distinguished ladies and gentlemen. We have a newly elected member who is amongst us, and Ms. Delisha Boyd. And our caucus, you are Senator Fields, Senator Cleo Fields from Baton Rouge, Senator Katrina Jackson, Senator Gerald Boudreaux, who's the chairman of the Senate Democratic Caucus, or the Senator Edward Price, Grambling Knight, and state representatives. We're going to start over here. Mr. Ed Larverdane, Ken Brass, Matt Willard, Rodney Lyons, C. Travis Johnson, Patrick Jefferson, the birthday girl, Representative Clara Denise Marcel. And I forgot to mention my fraternity brother with the senators, Senator Gary Carter, Representative Tammy Phelps, Representative Candace Newell, as she will remind folks in the legislature, Representative Vincent Pierre, Representative Larry Selders, Royce Duplessis, Representative Randall Gaines, Representative Kyle Green, Representative Edmund Jordan, Representative Marcus Bryant, and Representative Jason Hughes. Give the members of the Louisiana Legislative Black Caucus a hand, please. Also want to recognize our staff, Cynthia Buggage, who's here. Where's Ms. Buggage? Ms. Buggage. Dr. Raquel Shavers, thank you for your work on behalf of the caucus. Our law students are here somewhere working. Where are our students? Where are they? I don't see them. There they are. Stand up, gentlemen. And y'all young lady, well, one of our former interns, thank you to each and every one of the members of our foundation. This caucus is extremely grateful for each and every one of you for your investment today. We are extremely proud. I know a lot of us, you heard from a lot, but these students, this event is about our students from Southern University and Grambling State University. I was asked a question earlier this week, what makes, why you get so excited about the Bayou Classic? Someone asked me that. And I simply said it's just a sense of pride that cannot be explained. And it doesn't matter if you are a Grambling State Tiger or a Southern University Jaguar. We are indeed a family. I want the Jaguars to win today, but we are indeed a family. And I saw Miss Alicia, the governor has 2 pins on, but he has the Southern pin over his heart. I noticed that earlier when I saw that, Governor. I'm not trying to get you in trouble, but I did notice where he had that Southern University pin. But in all seriousness, Dr. Belton, Rick Gallo, the leadership that you two gentlemen provide is phenomenal. And way too often you have had to do a lot with a little, right? But this caucus has always and will always stand in the gap for the 2 fine institutions that are Grambling State University and the Southern University. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. I want to acknowledge we have some young men that are here. You heard the Reginald F. Lewis scholars. They were mentioned. These young brothers have been to the Capitol several times. We've had the opportunity to meet them. I want you all to stand. And when we met these, and I think it's important because way too often, these are not the images of black males that you see. So it is very important that, and I hope you gentlemen recognize what you have been blessed to do here, being a part of this program, being a part of the Reginald F. Lewis Scholars, because we want the world to see the images that we all know when we talk about young African-American males. So thank you, Dr. Henderson, for your leadership. Claire Norris, who works with the group of young men, thank you for having them come here today, and we look forward to seeing them on this stage one day. With that, is it 12:30? It's 12:39. We said we're going to be out of here at 12:30. I am done. Jason, what else? Gotcha. We have some former members. Renee Gill Pratt, where are you? Former Senator Diana Bourgeois, please stand. Also saw Congressman Jefferson. Is he still here? Congressman Jefferson was here earlier. He left. That's it, Jason? All right. With that being said, J.P. Morrell. Where's J.P.? I didn't see the red shoes. I'm sorry. Congratulations, J.P., former member. We have another former member. All former members stand up. I'm extremely grateful, grateful that we were able to, we didn't do this event last year, of course, because of COVID. It's been really hard to raise money, but the sponsors really showed that they care about our young people, so we were able to raise more dollars than we've ever raised before with this event. The turnout is great. We have the cheerleaders here in the band, so we're looking forward to having a really good time.
How can people get more information about the scholarship fund?
We are on Instagram, Twitter, and the Legislative Black Caucus website, www.LA Black Caucus, and @LA Black Caucus on both Instagram and Twitter.